or different priorities if they have like a different high pain or a different low pain. Classifying this pain is also very useful in daily settings, as you can tell if someone's having minor discomfort, if you're not able to understand them, or if they're not able to express it clearly. So it's a very important issue nowadays. So some existing pain level classification methods we have today include self-reporting. This is examples such as when you visit a doctor's appointment and ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, how much pain are you feeling? Usually someone gives an answer in between that range, usually never 1 or 10, but the thing with that is it's not incredibly accurate. It's very subjective to each person, and not everyone will be able to discern the difference between some different types of pain, or they may not be willing to tell it. So that puts us in different methods. We can also use physiological signal monitoring, where we have a lot of different like electrodes, or you can connect to brain waves, or different skin reactions for you to be able to tell if someone's feeling different pain levels. While this method is the most accurate of the other few, it requires a lot of expensive equipment and a lot of time to set up, making it infeasible for daily use. The other two that have also been explored include image and voice. The thing with image is, although it's more accurate than voice, it requires a lot of camera angle setup. For example, you have to put in range of the face. You have to make sure that it's consistent, or else there's going to be different like continuity errors. So overall, there's also privacy issues related to it. So it's not as versatile as voice. With voice, you have less biometric data, and it's also more versatile, as all you need is a basic microphone and a little device to be able to classify the pain level and run our neural model network. So for our framework, we collected voice signals in real time, which nobody really does, because sometimes the processing takes a long time. However, our model and system can calculate these things in very short amounts of time, making it pretty useful for daily use. After that, we trained our model on online data sets, one of which is called Pain data set, which includes around a large set of different noises that people make in different pain levels. So that was very useful. We also had to classify our own data set by screening it, choosing which ones we wanted, making sure we omit the ones that have too much noise or ones that are not suitable for our model. Then we extracted our features, which is one of the main parts of this research, and we also trained our CNN model based on different features that we extract. And some of the more unique things is that we used a tertiary scale, otherwise known as 3-pain level scale, which is significantly harder if you compare it to binary, which is half pain or no pain. So now we can look into the reason why there are discernible differences that to a learning model that they can tell, however to a person they might not be able to. The main thing is when someone's in pain, they involuntarily tense up their muscles. For example, somewhere near the throat or different areas where vocal cords happen. That's where you can tell small differences or patterns that, while a human may not be able to easily discern them, a machine learning model with countless data points can be able to tell. So we can look at a few spectrograms or some of the intermediate data parts that we extract from different audio files. In the high pain one, you can tell that there's a lot of fluctuation from different frequencies. There's more high density frequencies in large areas, indicating that there might be involuntary response to some pain stimulation that causes them to emit a little high noises. Compare that to the moderate and low. The moderate has less frequent high density in the high frequency areas, while the low barely has anything in the high frequency areas. This is just one of the ways our model is able to discern the difference between high pain, moderate, and low. Onto our software implementation. So we ran this on Jupyter Notebook, and to run our web interface, we also used Browser. The main things with this was that we had to extract different features from our learning model, and then we could train them using its CNN, Convolutional Neural Network. We also created a friendly GUI for users to interact with and be able to load pre-recorded samples, and also have them automatically test samples every once in a while. for our model was around over 72%. This is around 20% more than previous work done with 3 pain level scales. Another thing to note is that our accuracy, 72%, is also comparable to ones of a 2 binary scale, which is significantly easier to do compared to a 3 class one. Also, for our pain data set, there was a wide range of different sets, different pain levels that we classified into 3 types: high, moderate, and low. We had an abundance of low pain sets, pain data samples, which I'll explain the significance later. So now we look onto training samples to try to create a more robust CNN performance. We wanted to look into to see what we could do to make our CNN model more reliable and include better results. So we tested different sample sizes. For example, 100, 500, 1,000, 5,000 of the 7,000 we have. On the left here, you can tell that over time, if we include more samples, overall, the accuracy increases, which is what we would expect. Currently, there aren't a lot of data that we can use for our experiment specifically. However, in the future, if we collect more data samples or do more recent projects that can include more data points, we will probably likely get a higher accuracy in this system. Okay, on the right here, this is for how many times the model predicted things correctly. So a low indicates that the model predicted a low sample as the correct label, a low. Something you may be able to notice here is that our model is rather conservative. This is likely due to part in how we have a lot more low pain data samples than we have high or moderate. So because our model is conservative, it's more likely to predict low pain levels correctly rather than high. So here are some results in the form of confusion matrices to have a deeper look into how each of these things is compared and how each of these parts is viewed. So for our 1,000 data samples, here are 3 trials of it, and in comparison, we have 5,000 samples. With this part, you can tell that overall, 5,000 samples has higher percentage amounts in the correct labels over the row. This is rather due to because we have more samples, the model is able to tell different differences more easily and better at it. Onto this, we also implemented a hardware prototype to run our software system. So we had a rather affordable part. We made it so that it was easy to assemble and it was cheap for people to replicate and use in daily use. The entire model costs less than $100, which is rather affordable if you would consider that. We also use a Raspberry Pi, which is one of the more common systems that most people run things on. So it's very versatile.
We're running toward the end of your 10 minutes, so if you could move toward the conclusion.
So with the timing, as the audio samples get larger, the inference time takes longer, which means that usually if we have a sample of 1 to 2 seconds, it would take 5 to 7 seconds to analyze, which makes it pretty feasible for daily use as it doesn't require hours on end to calculate samples. So another thing is our framework can be extended to many different models, not just CNN. The main thing that I found to be interesting was, even though CNN model wasn't the best, XGBoost was the best. However, that took 2 hours just to train samples, while CNN was more balanced, it took much less time to train them. So CNN is more balanced framework, and it was more suitable for this than others. In conclusion, normal methods such as self-reporting aren't the most accurate, and they can be very subjective for different pain levels, and may not be the most feasible. So we used a neural network model with a preset scale for pain level to achieve 72% accuracy and a 3 pain level scale, considerably harder, which is 20% higher than currently existing work. I would like to thank NIH and the New Hampshire Embry Award for their support, and I would like to especially thank the PhD students I work with, Nishan Chanagoni and Mashrafi Kajo, for helping me over this project. Thank you, everyone.